Hey everybody, it's Nicole Ray, and you're listening to Hank's Corner.
Hello, everybody. Guess what? I am back. That's right. After a couple of months hiatus to celebrate the holidays over there, Hank's Corner is now back. Hopefully, you guys did get to enjoy your Christmas and New Year's, but we are back here in 2024 with Hank's Corner. Of course, I'm your host, Hank Jr., part of Hank Jr. Productions, where I'm documenting the life's moments through photography, videography, and, of course, podcasting. And I'm so excited to start this year off. We're going back up north to our Canadian friends. Please welcome to the show Nicole Ray, who's got 3.5 million streams at least. I mean, it's counting. She's a 5-time CMA Ontario nominee. Nicole, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. So excited to be here.
Well, I told you off air that I've been a fan for a while, so I'm actually more excited, I think, to have you on. So
Well,
it's
I appreciate that. Thanks so much for listening and being a fan.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming in. And we're going to be talking about a lot of fun stuff here with you, including your upcoming signal that we're going to give a sneak pre called Guilty in a little while. We'll talk a little bit about that. But tell me, we're here brand new 2024. How's your year going so far?
You know what? It's been good so far. I'm not normally a person who's like a believer in like the vibe of a certain year. Like a lot of people are like, this year was like a bad vibe year, and I'm feeling better about the next year. And normally I'm not a person to say that, but for some reason the vibes are feeling very good about 2024, that I feel confident in saying this is going to be a very good year, and I'm feeling very excited to see what happens in 2024.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. I don't like, categorizing a whole year because a lot can change. But if
Right.
we go back to 2023, and this is probably why you're so excited about 2024, is that you had a great year. And one of the things that I noticed, at the end of the year, we all get as artists and podcasters our little Spotify Wrapped, and it kind of tells us, how many streams we had, and all the stuff. And you had 522,000 streams, which is amazing. But what's even amazing more is that you had 103,000 new listeners. So what do you think about that?
That is very, very cool. And I love slash hate the Spotify Wrapped, at the end
Yeah.
of the year, because sometimes it's so easy to, compare your numbers to other artists, or even compare your numbers to the year before. Maybe you had a better year the year before, and then all of a sudden it feels like you don't have so much momentum in a year. But getting some of those other facts that they give now in Spotify Wrapped is really cool, especially like where fans are listening, like the countries that you hit during
Mhm.
the year, or seeing how many new listeners you had. It's really, really cool to have that information now, because even if the numbers of streams, wasn't where you wanted it for the year, it's just neat to find out where people are listening to your music and know that you've reached a greater audience.
Yeah, and so where have you kind of seen your concentration of fans coming from, and where are you most surprised to see them from?
So I have a lot in the US, which is great. Being from Canada, it's nice to know I'm reaching my US country family. But also, I get a lot of listeners in the UK, which is surprising to me. I've never toured there or done any kind of shows in the UK, so it's cool to know that I have fans there. I would love to be able to reach my audience there and hopefully go play some shows one day.
Yeah, and one of the things that I always like to promote, I always like to build up other people. And one of the persons that over in the UK that's building up artists just like me is Mike Leeson with Down the Road Radio. And I attribute a lot of the kind of like the followers in the UK to him, because he has just kind of exploded with his internet radio station that's out there promoting upcoming artists. And good for people like him that are doing that. And he's not so much in the UK; he's actually out of Ireland, but a
Okay.
lot of the the viewers and or listeners come out of the UK in general. So I always appreciate that, and I'm always going to plug them and do that sort of thing. But let's get back to you. Let's talk about your upcoming single, Guilty. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I wrote this last year with the producer of the song, Douglas Romano, and another wonderful artist. Originally, she was Crystal Lee. She was part of a group called Sons of Daughters, but she's doing her own thing now. So she goes by Audi, Oudi. You can check her out as well. It was such a fun write, and I've been telling the story a little bit lately that actually going into this write, I was watching a TV show like while I got ready before I went out to the write, and the TV show it's a show called Good Trouble, and the character works in a law office. So there's like a lot of legal jargon in the show. And so that was on my mind as I went to this ride. I was like, had all these sort of courtroom drama words in my mind. And I really, really wanted to write a love song on this particular day, and that's something that I struggle with. I don't write a lot of love songs, and I was just hoping I could find one on this day. And when I got to the right, I had mentioned to Crystal about watching this TV show and sort of being in this state of mind, and I wasn't sure how that was going to pair with a love song. And Crystal made a joke about, sometimes you find that love that's like so good it feels like it should be illegal. And so that sort of sparked the inspiration, and from there, Guilty was born.
All right. And, the Guilty comes out, this Friday, January 26th. But here we are on Thursday night, and we're going to go ahead and give our audience a sneak peek. Be sure, though, that, once you hear the sneak peek, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, not only just stream it, but go ahead and pay the 99 cents to buy it. That definitely helps the artist even more. But here is Guilty by Nicole Ray.
My sins, no need for a lawyer, 'cause I know I'll never win. Here's my holy grail, there ain't no bail. You know that I can't lie, I've got no alibi. I swear on the Bible, I stand before the judge. You make me a believer when I don't believe in love. Don't even need a jury, they can see right through my heart. I'm guilty, oh I'm guilty, guilty as charged. Put me in some handcuffs and then read me my rights. Baby, I'm your prisoner, I'm sentenced here for life. You're my holy grail, there ain't no bail. You know that I can't lie, I'm gonna testify. I swear on the Bible, I stand before the judge. You make me a believer when I don't believe in love. Don't even need a jury, they can see right through my heart. I'm guilty, oh I'm guilty, guilty as charged. I'm guilty, I'm guilty, guilty, guilty as charged. And I swear on the Bible, I stand before the judge. You make me a believer when I don't believe in love. Don't even need a jury, they can see right through my heart. I'm guilty, oh I'm guilty, guilty as charged. Oh, I'm guilty as charged. I'm guilty as charged.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. You just heard a sneak peek of Guilty by Nicole Ray. And what do you think about this song? I mean, do you think it's going to be as successful as how you've been trending so far? What's
I
your feeling on it?
I mean, you just never know how a song's gonna land, and there's so much music out there to be consumed these days. It's easy to feel lost in the shuffle sometimes, but I really appreciate all the love from my fans and watching the growth that I've had with my music over the last couple of years. And I think I mean, I say this all the time, but I think it's because you're growing always as an artist that like, I feel like I finally found my sound with this one. And I'm excited to see how it resonates with my fans.
Yeah, because I'll be honest, I found you within the last year or so, but when I went back and started listening to your stuff, you do have quite a bit of stuff out there. And so that's what you feel like right now, that you're kind of in your groove, you found your sound?
Yeah, I think it's difficult as an artist sometimes, and especially early days in the industry for me. You have so many voices in your ear kind of telling you what kind of music you should be putting out, or what, personality you should be putting out there. And it's easy to lose yourself sometimes. And I think over the years I've just gotten more confident in being me and being my authentic self, and that has really helped me write the music and share the music that really feels like me.
Yeah, and when you talk about this confidence, and I guess I can kind of see that through social media, and you can tell me if I'm right about that. But I see that you do post a lot through social media, and obviously you love doing photo shoots and getting dressed up and that sort of thing. But does that kind of come out of it too, that you feel the confidence in how your music's doing, and it just kind of goes out there on social media in your art as well?
Absolutely, because I mean, as we all know, social media can be wonderful, but it can be hurtful too. There's a lot of people out there that just like to comment mean things just for the sake of it, or I don't know why sometimes. And so it can be hard to put yourself out there, or not make you question something when you're going to post something. Sometimes it's like, I could love a picture for me, and that's the only reason I want to share it. But it can be hard sometimes to hit post when you're worried about what people are going to say or how people might judge you. And I think I've just kind of reached a point in my life, although, it's always in practice, but I feel like I've reached a place where I feel more confident to just say, this is me, this is what I have to say, this is who I am, take it or leave it.
That's awesome, because everybody needs to get that place no matter how long it takes. It's always good when you get there. And as a photographer and videographer and all that stuff that I do on the side, I love creative shoots. And like I said, one of the ones you did recently was for Graveyard. Tell me a little bit about that. How fun was that to do that kind of shoot?
Oh, I love it. I mean, spooky season is my favorite time of year. I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. So getting to do all the creatives for Graveyard have been some of my absolute favorites so far. Although it has been a bit of a tricky game, because I don't want to be disrespectful to people at rest in a graveyard. And so like for some of the shoots, we've snuck in or kind of gone at odd hours to take the pictures and the videos that we want, because we don't want to be disrespectful to people there, paying respect to their loved ones. But it has been really fun at the same time, because I love all that spooky stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And I know I love when you get to do the smoke bombs and have that all. It just makes for a great picture. But let's go ahead and play Graveyard here on Hank's Corner.
Trouble burn you in your package and bury the ashes and put it in a country song. Yeah. I'm a dance with the devil. I can make your wishes come true. But I go off like a volcano. I got fire on my hands, so be careful what you do. I'm coming after you. Yeah, I got a graveyard littered with caskets filled with the bodies of all of my exes. I'll chisel your tombstone, walk away laughing, and no one will know what happened, 'cause I got a graveyard. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I got a graveyard. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're just another notch on the leg of my throne, and all your sins will be written on your stone. I got a graveyard littered with caskets filled with the bodies of all of my exes. I'll chisel your tombstone, walk away laughing, and no one will know what happened, 'cause I got a graveyard. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I got a graveyard. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I got a graveyard. Yeah, I got a graveyard.
Well, welcome back to Hank's Corner. I am your host, Hank Jr., part of Hank Jr. Productions, and I'm here with Canadian's own Nicole Ray. And you just heard Graveyard, and it was such a fun thing to watch that on social media. But let's back up a little bit. Before you got, all this, glamour and fun stuff to do, you had to start somewhere. And tell me, where did you start from, and how did you get from there to here?
Oh my goodness, feels like forever ago at this point. I really started diving into music as a career back in 2011, which is when my very first single came out. And I knew nothing at that point about the music industry. I just always knew I wanted to be a singer, and I love to write music. And I ended up actually getting connected with a studio downtown Toronto called Cherry Beach Sound. And Carmen, who's the man that owns it, sort of like took me in and introduced me to some people, introduced me to producers and writers and a vocal coach, who all kind of helped me come together to make my first EP called Only Everything. And I can't even believe how long ago that came out now. That seems like forever ago from then till now.
Yeah, and one of the things I've always said is that it's one thing to have talent, and you got to have that talent, but you do need to have some of that luck or some of that support to have somebody come along and help you out. How thankful are you for that kind of support? And did it make a lot of difference? And do you turn around and do the same thing? I know the answer is yes, because I've seen you, but tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. I mean, nobody would make it in this industry without some help and support. And I've had, just a long array of people who have helped me in my career path, whether that be professionals in the industry. I mean, one of the first people that ever helped me out was Anya Wilson, who is a very well-known radio tracker in country music. But not only people in the industry, but people in my life too. I have a really great support system out of my parents and my family and my partner, Damon. I mean, you need that in this industry. I think I would go a little crazy if I didn't have some cheerleaders behind me and people that believed in me. It's easy to get down on yourself when there's a lot of no's or things that don't work out in the industry. So having that is key. And I love to help the next generation of artists as much as I can. And obviously I do a lot of things for women in country music. I love female power. So I have a showcase or a songwriters round that I host monthly for female artists, and I actually started my own festival a couple years ago for women as well, because I just love doing anything I can to help raise up the next generation of country artists, especially the females.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I've talked with female artists is that okay, yeah, you can put your music out for social media, maybe it gets picked up or whatever, but when it comes down to time for the concerts and the festivals, it always seems like the women play less of a part than men, and it's always good to see that people that are still trying to advocate for the women to get them out there because let's face it, women rock just as much as men do. you
Right.
know
I mean, sometimes I don't even understand how like this thought process started, that like men do better on the stage, or like men are going to sell more tickets, and I don't think that's the case at all. I mean, at this point, it's just because we're not giving the women opportunity to do so. But it's wonderful to see some change in the last couple of years, especially, and I have huge love for those people out there who are advocates for getting women on the stage and on the radio and in front of audiences.
Yeah, good for you for doing that. And if you ever want to bring it down here to Florida, let me know. We'll get it set up. I definitely would love to do that here. You can get some sunshine
Yeah.
as opposed to all that cold,
Oh my
Canadian
gosh,
air
I know
all the
we
time.
need it right now. It's been very, very not sunny here for the last, like, for all of winter. We've had like 30 hours of sun, which is basically nothing. So I need some sunshine.
And I'm sure that you've seen the posts that are on social media because Nashville had got hit with some snow, and you're probably like, yeah, that's every day for us.
I know. I always think it's so funny when they would close down the whole city because of a little bit of snow. I mean, I know they're just not prepared for it there, but obviously, yeah, here in Canada, we're like, that's nothing.
Yeah, living up north, we used to get a lot of snow when I was in the Philadelphia area, but I could just happen to have one a year, and I would be satisfied with that
Yeah, that's
because I don't like digging out. I didn't like that. It was never fun. But of course, being hot here in Florida is not always fun too either. I kind of
fair
like a little bit of a mix, but you can't have it both ways a lot. I want to go ahead and play a sad song, and when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about that and some other stuff.
Blue sky, sunrise, butterflies might make you happy. White sand, Disneyland, holding hands might make you smile. Yeah, there's a list of things that make you feel better, but for the record, there's just something about a sad song. Every time it comes on, makes you wanna turn it up and sing every word. There's just something about a rain cloud. Every time it pours out, isn't it the best sound you ever heard? Who needs a sunny day to chase the blues away? Sometimes all that you want is to hear a sad song, a sad song. Fireworks always work when you wanna light up the sky. Waking up, making love is gonna get you every time. Yeah, there's a list of things that've been around forever, but for the record, there's just something about a sad song. Every time it comes on, makes you wanna turn it up and sing every word. There's just something about a rain cloud. Every time it pours out, isn't it the best sound you ever heard?
And you just heard Sad Song by Nicole Ray here on Hank's Corner. I'm Hank Jr., your host. Now, I love this song, and it's a little bit different than some of your other songs, but I think that's kind of why I love it. In there, you're talking about how, sometimes a sad song is good. And, I can mention some artists like George Strait and of course, probably one of the greatest ones by George Strones, that the sad song just rips your heart out, but you enjoy that. It's a good rip your heart out. What are some of the songs that you can think of, or artists that have done that to you, that just make you think like, oh man, that song just ugh.
Uh, I mean, there's so many good ones. That's the reason for this song, Sad Song, is because you're right. It's like sometimes those really sad ones just tug at your heartstring. They just get you right in the feels, and you need that sometimes, right? Like, I mean, obviously that's why we can turn to music in any kind of emotion, right? Because there's the happy songs we can dance to, and then it's great to have those
Yep.
those sad songs for when you need them. I'm a huge and always will be a huge Kelly Clarkson fan, and I feel like she has some like sad ballads that just get me, and it's like every time you listen, you're in tears because they hit you right in the heart.
And she comes with that powerful voice too, that
Right?
just kind of just turns it up a little bit more.
Right? Yeah, like a good belting sad song too, just hits you even more.
Yeah. And so you talk about the gamut of emotions that, from happy to sad, and being a songwriter, have you found that that's a way to, release some of your emotions, or do you just kind of songwrite because it's just natural, or a combination of both?
I think a little bit of both, but for me, it really has mostly always been a bit about like the diary of my life. I think writing to sort of express something that you're going through is really therapeutic. For many times for me, that's been the reason for writing a song, is like I was going through something and didn't really know how to express it or talk about it other than getting it out in a good old song.
And how comfortable are you, putting out those type of songs that, are very personal to you? Is that easy for you, or do you keep it guarded?
I mean, I'd like to think it's easy, but it's definitely not. And putting out any, piece of art or something that you creative is always a little bit scary, because you never know what people are going to think, and that's like a little piece of your soul just headed out there for people to judge. But it's really important to me, especially because that was always why, and still always why, I love music in the first place, is because like growing up, I just remember listening to songs, and you'd hear these honest lyrics and you'd think, wow, like somebody really gets me, somebody understands this situation that I'm going through right now. And that's what I always want for my music as well. I want to be honest and authentic, and give people the true emotion of what I'm going through, so that maybe they can connect their story to it and take something away from it.
Yeah, that's awesome, and I see that in your music. Like I said, you got a lot of music, but there's certain songs there that really have attracted me and just kind of talk to me on a certain level, whether it's for fun or for like that sad song that we talked about. But one of those songs too is called "Feels Like Yesterday." I'm gonna play that one, and we're gonna talk. We're gonna bring in some nostalgia after that. So stay tuned here on Hank's Corner.
Remember when Backstreet came back and we all lost our minds? We didn't have cell phones, so our parents never knew where we were on Friday nights. Knew your number by heart, I could still call it now. Keep thinking it's been 10 years since the 90s, but it's been 20 somehow. Were we supposed to grow up? 'Cause I don't think we did. Yeah, we're still saying Britney like a couple of kids, still making mixtapes, dancing to the radio, still dialing it up everywhere we go. We've come a long, long way, but it feels like yesterday. We wore denim on denim before it was cool. We'd miss our favorite shows if we didn't get home when they aired after school. Put our words down on paper and our photos on roll.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. I'm Hank Jr. here with my special guest to start the new year off, Nicole Ray. And you just heard Feels Like Yesterday. And so, you're not as old as me. You're definitely probably, very young compared to me. So I have a lot more nostalgia to go over, but I'm sure you have a little bit. And, in your song, you're talking about how, the 90s and everything just seems like yesterday. And one of the things that my wife and I were talking about is, we miss the smell of books. Everything is online, and when we finally walk into a bookstore, it is such a great smell. And I mean, it's not about the smell, but it's about reading, and it's about the nostalgia. Is there anything like that you miss from, like, your childhood or early teens that, man, I wish that that never had gone away?
I miss like actually having a physical CD. Not that you can't get them from artists now, but back in the day, I feel like they would always have like the big booklet with like lots of pictures or like an explanation on some of the
Hmm.
songs, some like behind the scenes info, or it would have like all the lyrics printed out.
Yes.
You know, like open the booklet and follow along to every song. I miss that because it was such an experience listening to a CD in that way and getting all that kind of info in the booklet as well. And I mean, obviously you can see it online, some photos, and you can always Google the lyrics now, but it's not the same as like I'm gonna listen to this record today and like listening from start to finish and taking out that little booklet. I miss that.
Definitely, I agree with you there. And there's something about having a physical thing to hold as well, especially for artists. I've realized that they really enjoy saying, "Hey, this is what I put out," as opposed to it being there online. But you talk about CDs. One of the things that's making a comeback is vinyl, and I actually had to go out and rebuy a record player to be able to start playing all this vinyl. Do you have any intention on maybe putting one of your songs or an album on vinyl?
Oh, I do. I definitely thought about it, and I had originally thought about it for Sad Song because, like, in the imagery for it and in the music video, we like play a vinyl and like it shows me playing a record, and so like seemed like it was a good idea to put it on vinyl. But I had a hard time justifying it with just one song. But I think I would love maybe for the next album to put it out on vinyl, especially now that it's making a comeback because we like my partner and I have a record player in the house set up, and it's so much fun sometimes to pull out an old record.
Yeah, definitely. So, and I know the cost is very expensive. I've seen what it costs to put together an album, but if you do ever put anything on vinyl, let me know. I'll be sure to be the first one to buy something to help out that cost. And and one of the things I do kind of want to talk about, I've had quite a bit of Canadian artists on my show. I've had Paige Rutledge, Justine Blanchett, Ashley LeBlanc, Kendra Gabrielle. One of the people I have not had is Jessica Soul, which I've seen that you played with recently. So hopefully I can get her at some point. But
Yeah.
tell me, who are some of the people that you see in your circles up there in Canada that we should be on the lookout for down here?
Well, I got to tell you about one of my favorite Canadian artists. I'm actually hitting the road with her shortly. We're going on a little tour together. Her name's Mackenzie Lee Meyer. She's so talented, an incredible songwriter, beautiful voice. She has such a great performance live. So if you have yet to check her out, make sure you do. She actually has some brand new music coming out in February.
Yeah, I did see that, and definitely looking forward to that as well. But yeah, some great artists, both of you teaming up and going out there and doing that. And of course, everybody knows on my podcast at some point that I got to talk about food one way or another. And I
Yes.
always like talking about food from people that are a lot further away. So in your neck of the woods, what are some of the fun foods that if I were to travel up there that I just got to try?
Oh, I don't know. And like from Alliston, Ontario specifically is where I live. We're famous for potatoes. Like that's what's big here. We have like tons of potato farms, and we do have a potato festival every year where people get like pretty creative and wild with the potato making. I mean, like there's obviously you can get like fries and the regular thing, but they have like the fancy like spiral potato things now and like lots of wild potato treats here. So I feel like we would probably feed you some kind of crazy potato if you came here.
Hey, I love it, and you put a steak next to it too, and then you had me happy. And which is kind of contrary to here that in February here in the Tampa area we have a strawberry festival, and they get all crazy with those strawberries. Very good, and we have a lot of great artists that come in and play there as well. And also being there in Canada, are you a hockey fan? I got to ask that.
I am, and I'm a Toronto Maple Leaf fan. So for anyone who knows, it's really hard to be a Leafs fan because they don't win, or we get our hopes up and then all goes to hell after. So it's not easy being a Leafs fan, but I remain loyal and I'm still rooting for them.
Yeah, it has been rough for them, and I'm a Philadelphia Flyers fan, and we've had those moments too where we get so close, and then it's just like I have not seen at my capability, because I was probably young when they actually did it, but I have not seen them win the cup yet. So I feel for that. And last year was just disastrous. That I don't think I watched more than 3 or 4 games. It was so bad. But this year the Flyers are doing well. How's Toronto doing?
They're doing okay so far. I haven't watched many super recently. I was tuned in a little bit earlier, so I don't know how they did in the last couple games. I'll have to catch up and find out. But they were doing okay when I was watching. So, but usually this is when we do okay, and then once it like counts later, that's where we just lose it. So fingers crossed we can do a little bit better this year.
Yeah, definitely. And so you talked about you're getting ready to go out on the road, and if a person were to come to your show, what does Nicole Ray's show look like?
It's a lot of fun. It's very energetic. I always tend to use the word spazzy to explain my performance on stage, which I don't know if is the most positive word, but I love performing. Like the stage is where I feel most at home, and so I love to jump around and get interactive. So it's definitely high energy for sure.
All right. Well, I definitely got to come see that. And I'm sure that you'll be posted on social media and your website, which has been listed down below, NicoleRay.com. That's Ray with 2 Ys. Be sure to check her out. If you haven't done that, follow her on all social medias, and be looking for where she's going to be playing. And, Nicole, I appreciate you coming on the show. Not only that, I appreciate you giving us a chance to do the sneak peek of your new song that's coming out tomorrow, Friday the 26th, Guilty. It's such a great song. And all your songs are good, and we just wish you the best, and hopefully 2024 is as good as you think it's going to be.
Yes, fingers crossed, and thank you so much. This was so much fun. I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with me and giving everybody a sneak peek of the new single.
Girl, I see you looking your best. Finally found a night to rock that dress. You look so fine. You sure shined up those boots. Might get scuffed up while you're cutting loose. So it's understood you clean up good just to get dirty. Drinking my hand, this rock and roll band, staying out till it's drunk 30. 'Cause that's when it's time. Got on your mind. All night to chase those turn ons. A good time to get your blur on. If you're lucky, you won't leave Thursday, but you might just get a little. Let you filthy fly. Anything that gets you high. Let's fool around. There